It's your boy. We've been Israel, the people's champ. Shalom. Shalom, Israel. How y'all doing? Sunday, June 5th, 2022. Beautiful day out here. North Carolina. Charlotte Metro. Hope everybody's doing well. As you come in, like, share, subscribe. I appreciate everybody's support as we're growing this channel. I am simultaneously streaming on YouTube, Facebook, V Speaks, and Facebook's Van Johnson. Hope y'all are doing well, man. Hope y'all are doing well. Got a little rant, man. I got a little rant. This wasn't a scheduled video. This is just something. I get tired of having these debates, arguments about iPhones and Androids. It really gets on my nerves. And I'm an old head. So to me, this is an extension of the argument that was in the 90s, the Mac versus PC arguments. Now people are doing the Android versus iPhone arguments. People have their preference, which is better, you know, with the Android, with the Mac versus PC. To me, in today's world, it's really about your workflow and your personal preference. So I've seen great content get produced on Macs and on PCs. And it's up to the individual creator or user which flow is more comfortable for you. Back in the 90s, before Windows really came out, it was clear Macs were better. Macs had things, you could just do things on Macs that you couldn't do on the PC. You just couldn't do it. The Windows came out and kind of changed the game. And over the decades, that playing field is virtually equal. For the most part. There may be slight little differences, but I base my opinion on the end result. Because up until that point, the workflow is based on the individual. Photoshop is pretty much Photoshop now. And it's just which one is more comfortable for you to use and how you got your workflow set up. Photographer, graphic designer, web designer, SEO, SQL, whatever you're doing, animation, it's really based on what's most comfortable for you. Now, that's not the same case with iPhones versus Androids. Because of the architecture of Macintosh and their philosophy, which is Apple, they like to keep things proprietary. And they purposely limit things the end user can do. Whereas on an Android, it's open source. You can pretty much do whatever you want if you have the know-how. But my gripe comes in not on the tech side, but on the consumer side. I get tired of y'all telling me y'all sent me a text message and I didn't get it. And I only have that happen with people who are using iPhones. I never have Android people tell me, yo, I sent you some texts, I didn't get it. I don't have that happen. On the small chance that it does happen, somebody be like, yeah, my phone is screwed up. I got to reboot or something like that. That fixes the problem typically. But nine times out of 10, when somebody says that to me, I go, you got an iPhone, don't you? Yeah, how you know? How do I know? Before I get too further, you don't want to be here? Don't be here. Move around. Plenty of places to be out here in these YouTube streets. Plenty of places to be. Got my hydration, drinking some of the good stuff, the tea. That Tetley black tea, my favorite. But let me explain something to y'all. Because I'm an old tech head. I've been doing tech a long time. Before many of y'all were born. Y'all millennials. And a lot of y'all really just started getting into tech stuff, smartphones, the last 10 or 15 years. I was selling smartphones when they first came out 22 years ago. I've seen the progression. I've seen it go from what it was to what it is. I remember the first color screen phones that came out. I remember the first camera phones that came out. I remember when text messaging really came out on the phones. That came out before color screens. SMS, short messaging service, that's a text message. That's been around a long time. And the reason why it's endured, because it works. It's a very simple communication method. And it works. The problem with iPhone, as I explained before, is they want everything proprietary. That includes their network. So when two iPhones are sending, quote unquote, SMS messages to each other, you're not really sending a true SMS message. You're actually operating on the Apple network. This is why you can see when somebody's typing. This is why you could see if somebody read your message. Because that's not SMS. You're basically operating on a messenger format at that point. So when you send a SMS from an iPhone to a non-Android, to a non-iPhone person, you first got to send it to Apple, and then they send it to the Android phone, for example. So you got a buffer in there. Well, sometimes that buffer doesn't work. So this is why I'll send a screenshot to somebody saying, hey, I ain't got a message from you in a couple of days. And they'll turn around and send a screenshot back to you and saying, oh, well, it must be your phone because I see it on my phone. To me, I'm not having that conversation with y'all. I've had this conversation too many times. This will be the last time I have this conversation with anybody. I'm just going to point y'all to this video because y'all don't understand how it works. iPhones suck. This is why 87% of the world doesn't use them. 87% is by and far the vast majority. iPhones only make up like 13% of the world's market. They're really only popular in Japan and China. Japan and America. Everybody else uses Android for a reason, because it works, it's reliable. Business people don't rely on iPhones because they're concerned about privacy and they don't want their information going to another network and then to the other person. They don't want that middleman. This is why you see a lot of these governments, people who work for the government, they always using Snapchat and WhatsApp and some kind of app that encrypts their messages, because iPhone doesn't do that. But it's a flawed system. But y'all get comfortable, and it's really a lot of you lovely ladies. I don't think I've ever had a man say this to me, but usually I'm not even going, in my experience, it's always you lovely ladies. And y'all just swear by iPhone like it's sliced bread or something. And it's not. So if you want the guarantee your message goes through, don't send a text message through your iPhone. Use a messenger app. Use Facebook Messenger or something else. If you want to send a message to somebody and ensure that they got it. That's a better way to do it. Well, get rid of your damn iPhones. But y'all think that shit is cute. It don't work. And this is why a lot of times y'all want to blame everything but your phone. Y'all want to blame the network. Y'all want to blame the mobile carrier. You want to blame the other person's phone. You want to blame everything but your crappy phone that you paid $1,000 for. They don't work. But it's by design, which is what I'm trying to make y'all understand. Because you could take an iPhone and you could take an Android on the same exact network, and you'll find out that the Android is more reliable when you travel, when you go places. I've had people say that to me. Oh, I ain't got no bars. We on the same network. Why we don't have bars? We in the same exact location, same exact mobile carrier. Why isn't your phone working? Because it's the way iPhone is designed to work. Now, if you're in a large city or in a large metro area which has great towers, and service doesn't matter. Your mobile carrier doesn't matter in today's world. They all share the same networks. It's not 30 years ago where it mattered if you were on Sprint or on Verizon or on whoever's network. It doesn't matter in today's world. If you're in a metropolitan area, you're all using the same carriers. And I've been having this conversation even before smartphones. I was a store manager. I was a store manager with Radio Shack. And as a store manager, Verizon gave us a phone. Some kind of Motorola. I hated it. I had my personal phone, which was a Samsung 3500. My Samsung 3500 worked everywhere. Everywhere I went. Up and down the East Coast, Chicago, Jersey, New York, out in the middle of the country in South Carolina. My phone just worked. But my Verizon phone didn't work everywhere. I remember I used to joke. My mom lived maybe about 10 miles away from me. But I used to have to pass her house going down to my house. And this is in South Carolina. So I'm coming out of Pageland, South Carolina, going to Ruby, South Carolina, which is roughly 14 miles in between the two towns. As soon as I passed my mom's mailbox, my Verizon phone was cut out. Every time. It was a joke. But my Sprint phone worked in Ruby. And Ruby is in the middle of nowhere. Most of y'all never heard of. A Sprint phone always worked. Now Verizon works down there now, but at that time, Verizon didn't work very reliable because they didn't have deals with the carriers. Because I think at that time it was Bell South Mobility who had most of the carriers in that area, and TracFone, which anybody know anything about TracFone? TracFone's network is friggin' incredible. They work in rural areas, and most of your major carriers still to this day use TracFone in areas that they don't have towers in. TracFone is just about everywhere. OnStar relied heavily on TracFone. That's why your OnStar phone in your car always works. You press that blue button, it always worked. Because that was TracFone's network majority of the time if you were in a rural area, anywhere in the country. But the problem is y'all don't understand how technology works. Y'all just get emotional because you like a product. You think it's cute. And unfortunately, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. That's just the way it is. So again, if you're sending a text message from your iPhone to a non-iPhone, it's going to go filtered through Apple first and then get sent out. And that's where those messages, they break down. Sometimes the Android, you can't get mad at the Android because it didn't receive what you sent out. And this, coincidentally, this is how some of y'all think. Y'all communicate this way. You think because you said something, the other person automatically heard you. But y'all don't. This is why speech pathology 101 is very important. They teach this in college. How to project your voice, how to make sure what you're saying is being heard to the audience. But a lot of y'all like to mumble, you like to turn your head, you like to walk off, talk softly, all of that. And, oh, something must be wrong with your hearing. No, something must be wrong the way you're speaking. Because it's only with certain people do they say that to you. I've made a living communicating for 30 years in corporate America. Never had a problem with my hearing. Never had a problem communicating with the vast majority of people. It's always you lovely ladies who mumble, who talk soft. Y'all don't communicate well. And then again, you don't take accountability, or you're not self-aware, and you want to blame the other person or something else on why your shit ain't coming through. Same thing now you're doing it with the phones. It must be your phone because I sent it on mine. Well, just because you type something in on your phone, ain't this what Amber Heard kind of said in court? She took the pictures on her phone, and somehow People Magazine got the pictures, and her response was, "I don't know how they got the pictures because you sent it." That's the way communication works. If you had not sent the pictures to People Magazine that was on your phone and only on your phone, it would have never gotten the pictures. Same thing with the video to TMZ. I don't know how they got the copyrights to my video that I recorded because you gave it to them. You sold it to them. One or the other. Y'all can't play these communication games and these word games because people know how things work. That's why she lost the case. Nobody believed her because it was stupid. And then her lawyers run around. I'm not going to talk about that. It's going to be the video I do in a little bit. Not going to talk about that right now. Oh my God, I want to talk about that. But I'm on one. iPhones suck, people. I'm sorry. If you're conducting business or you need to make sure this message gets to that person, do not send a text message through your iPhone. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. I'm sorry. Even when y'all send iPhone to other iPhones, I've seen two iPhone people argue about, I didn't get your message. I'm telling you why. Because once you send it to Apple, just because you got bars on your phone doesn't mean Your Apple network is operating in that particular area at peak efficiency. So sometimes it'll place it in your phone's buffer and send it later. Because I've had people do that. Yo, I sent you a message, and then a day or two later, the message pops up. I'm like, why are you sending me this now? You already told me about it. I didn't send it. Yeah, you did. But they don't realize that buffer, it'll hold it in the buffer. Android doesn't do that. When you send a text message, it gets sent out immediately. There's no holding it back. You can't retract the message. None of that. See, y'all think those features are cool, but you don't understand how it works. You can't unring the bell. But iPhone put that in there, and the way they put that in there is by creating that buffer network. That's why and it doesn't always work like it's supposed to. For those of you who just don't get it, man, I think I got comments. Hold on. Let me see here. Yeah, you can't conduct any real business on iPhone for that reason. I agree. Yeah, the 3500 was a beast, and so was that 8500. Um, both of them phones. I like the 3500 better the way it looked, but that 8500 was solid, man. It was a workhorse. And you could drop it, you could throw it across the room, man. That sucker just kept working. That 8500 was built to last. That Samsung 4900 was hot. That was the first color screen. It was the predecessor to the modern phone because it was like the first phone that was getting away from the flip phones. And then the Samsung, I think it was the 5300. That was the first phone that came out that had the camera built in. It was color screen, and the camera sucked, but it was the fact that, yo, I could take pictures on my phone. So we didn't care. We didn't know how good cameras was going to get, but it was a high phone. I've had all of them. I even had the first quote unquote modern smartphone, which was a touchpoint 2100. Basically, they took a Palm Pilot and made it into a phone. I mean, you couldn't do any of the smart shit you do now, but whatever you could do with a Palm Pilot, you could do with a phone. I've had them all. Now, my favorite phone, the real progenitor of the modern day smartphone, was that Evo. That Evo was the fucking shit. iPhone had nothing on that Evo. When that Evo came out, they couldn't even sell them iPhones. Because iPhone came out first and then Evo came out. And because when iPhones first came out, you couldn't talk and text at the same time, but the Evo you could. And that flipped a couple of years later because of some lawsuits and things that happened, and they forced Sprint to change their network. But that Evo, man, that Evo was a hell of a phone. And then Galaxies came out, man, they just kind of started just shutting everything down, man. But even today, the iPhone, they don't add no new features. They just change the number. There's still things that you can get an entry-level Android phone, $100 Android phone, that your $1,000 iPhone cannot do. And to me, that's just insane. That's insane. But I'm like, why do you have an iPhone? It's crazy. I think it's kind of like Jordans. These kids just get caught up in labels, and they like to be able to say they got an iPhone just for the sake of saying they got an iPhone. Just like with Jordan, they don't even know who Michael Jordan is, but oh, I gotta have Jordan. I'm Jordan, Jordan, Jordan. You know, it's a label. That's the way I see it. Um, Even with that Apple Watch, you spending $500 for a watch. You can go on Amazon and get a $20 watch from Amazon for Android that does the same exact thing. Actually, it'll do more. $20. I'm like, why are y'all spending all of this money just to be able to say you got an Apple product? I don't have that much loyalty to any company. I buy products that work, not because they got some name on it. I remember a few years back. So no, actually, this will be about 11 years ago now. The Hisense TVs started coming out, and I was recommending them on Facebook, and people was talking shit. Or no, you should buy Vizio when Vizio was. I remember when Vizio came out, and everybody was talking shit about Vizio. That somewhere Vizio became a label. I'm telling people to buy this Hisense because you're gonna save about $300 for the same damn TV, and it worked great. It did what it's supposed to do, just like any other TV. Some people listened to me and bought the TV by recommendation. Some people didn't because it ain't a Vizio. Is Hisense not a popular television today? I was in Walmart the other day. They had an 80-inch Hisense for like $700. And people buying them. They rolling them out. Y'all get caught up in labels and don't do no research. And a lot of times these products be made in the same factories. Or right across the street from each other. In China somewhere. The workers leave one factory, get off that shift, go to the other shift, make Vizios, go back, make Hisense to the other. It's the same people making the damn TV. And in most cases, it's the same parts. They're using the same exact parts. I find it funny. China, where most of this shit is made, they don't use iPhones in China. They use Androids. And their society, when it comes to smartphones, China and and Korea, South Korea, they are way far advanced than our society. They way ahead of the curve. They do everything with their phones. And they use Android. Y'all don't understand how much the United States controls technology and your access to it and what you can do with it. And y'all better start paying attention to what other countries are doing around the world. China, I mean, your phone is like your wallet, and you do everything. Banking, your social media, your store purchase. They don't even carry debit cards no more. They just use their phones. You walk into a store and you can walk out, it automatically tracks what you bought over there. That shit is wild. You walk into a store, you just boop, boop, boop. That's it. Now you can do that at Walmart to some degree, but that's everywhere in their society. You go in stores over there, they don't even have workers. Everything is automated. Yeah, that Evo was everything, man. That shit was fire, man. I think the last 5 phones that I bought have been cheaper than people have paid for one iPhone. They're paying like $1,000, over $1,000. I ain't never bought an Android that was more than $200, unless I paid for the extended warranty or something, you know. And my phone does everything. I'm streaming on an Android phone right now. I'm using a Galaxy A32 right now. Before that, I had an LG that I still use to stream with. I don't understand why people buy those phones, man. I really don't. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. This shirt right here, I think I paid $12 for it, right? It's probably made in the same factory or general vicinity that Nike uses to make their shirts. Now, they put a Nike logo on this shirt would be $60. That's all iPhone is. Y'all don't realize you're getting a cheap product and you're paying for a logo. That's all you're doing. But I'm tired of having these discussions with people. I'm not even responding to them. People say I sent you a, matter of fact, I was texting Ash yesterday. Me and her text yesterday, no problem. We text all the time. No problem. We both got Androids, no problem. She never tells me in years, has never told me, yo, did you get my text? No. I've never said to her no. Never. We've been texting for years, more than a decade. We was texting each other on Evos. Shit. Never missed a text message. People with iPhones all the time. Did you get my text? Well, I text you. Why you ain't calling me back? And this is why iPhone people will do this too. They'll text you, and before you can respond to their message, they turn around and call you. I'm like, why did you call me? We're texting. You didn't give me a chance to respond to your text. I'm texting you for a reason. I may be doing something else, and I don't feel like talking. I watch a lot of YouTube. I do a lot of things on my phone. So if I'm texting you, it's because I'm multitasking. So when you call me, now I got to mute YouTube. I got to stop whatever else I'm doing because y'all want to chit chat. That's an aggravating thing for me. But y'all do it because you don't have no confidence in the message you send. I text people. I wait for them to respond for the most part. And if I need to talk to them, I'm like, yo, call me. That's why I'm like, yo, call me when you get a chance. And I wait for them to call me. They may be doing something. But there's always the iPhone people who function that way. Always. It's always you iPhone people that function that way. And I just don't even respond to it no more. I'm like, okay. You can send me 1,000 screenshots of messages that didn't come to my phone. It doesn't matter to me. I'm sending you a screenshot to let you know I'm not ignoring your message. That's why I do it. I'm like, yo, I haven't got your message. Here's the proof. It never came through. I don't need you to send me a screenshot saying that you sent it, showing me that you typed it. It don't matter. You're missing the point. The point is it didn't leave your phone and come to my phone. That's why I sent my message. But that kind of goes into that shame, insult, guilt, need to be right. You need to be right so bad when y'all do that. And it must be you got to make somebody else wrong and insult people. Oh, it's your phone. You got that little Android. Android is 87% of the world's market. Most of the world is using Androids. Argue with that. Argue if iPhones were so great, their numbers would be more than 13%. And they would dominate in more than 2 countries. And the countries they're dominating in is America and Japan. Japan does everything America does. They just shadow America, so that really don't even count. India, China, Korea, where they make the shit, where they're experts on technology, they don't use the bullshit at all. I'm sorry. Facts are facts. They stubborn things. That's all I got right now. I'm gonna be back on later. Probably around 5 or 6 o'clock, I guess. I don't know. Haven't decided for the video I promised with about the Amber Heard trial and why it matters to us. Why it matters. That's all I got though, man, for right now. That's my little rant. That is my little rant. And I hope everybody's doing well, man. Trying to get my screen right. There you go. That's all I got. Like, subscribe, share, and donate. Send me $1, y'all. Donate. I'll let your boy out.